Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Well, it's a good Friday morning to you. We have made it to the end of your work week, at least for some of you. Welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson doing the stuff across the way this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live comes to you from the Jared Construction Studios. Right on time, right on budget. Visit jared-construction.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly Spring Street texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor on Virginia Street. Dressed to impress for the Kentucky Derby with a visit to Tony. And don't forget the suits for graduation, too. Tony the Taylor's on Facebook, or visit bestmastertailor.com. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Coming up a little bit later on, Dawn Miller from Read Aloud, West Virginia is going to join us. She's on from time to time. And, of course, they just had their big Read-a-Palooza event not long ago, where they're getting some national recognition for the program here in West Virginia. Some good news coming out of the Mountain State and getting some national recognition for fancy book learning. So we're going to talk about that with Dawn a little bit later on. Also, about time for the folks in Nitro to do their annual pickleball event. Nitro is kind of becoming like the pickleball capital of West Virginia. Of course, it's all with Metro 911. We'll talk to Johnny Rutherford and others about that coming up on the show a little bit later on. Lots of chatter still about the raise in parking for the town center. We'll talk about that if I get time. And it was announced earlier this week that a new hotel is being built well, actually it wasn't announced. It was announced a long time ago that a hotel was being in Charleston. It was being built in Charleston. And for some reason, everybody on social media losing their mind over it and not realizing why we need another hotel in Charleston. If I get time, I'm going to explain to you why we do need another hotel in Charleston. That's coming up. Plus, it is the next to last day at the legislature. We'll get a check-in with TJ Meadows coming up a little bit later on in the show. Your calls and text always welcome to Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Let's welcome in Angie Gillenwater now from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Angie, good morning.
Good morning.
And as always, our pet's picture posted on my social media. You can check out the picture of Barry. That's our dog this week. Barry's photo posted, Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and at Dave A70 on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Tell us all about Barry.
Well, I personally cannot say enough good things about Barry. When I say he is a staff favorite and the perfect dog, he truly is. He's so easy to walk on the leash. I promise you, if you go to the shelter, Barry will not be in his kennel. He's going to be on a walk with either a staff member or a volunteer. Everybody just loves him. But he's about 6 years old, which puts him close to the senior age. And he would do best as the only pet in your home. He could probably coexist with like a goldfish or something that lives, on a countertop and far away from him. But other furry friends like cats, dogs, ferrets will probably want to stay away from Barry.
Not so much for Barry. Not so much.
No, he prefers to be the center of attention, and that's totally okay. We respect that for him.
No, he's a beautiful dog. I mean, he really is. Vaccinated and all that stuff fixed. Has he got all that taken care of?
Oh, yeah. He's ready to roll out of that building as soon as you pick him.
Well, he's a beautiful dog. Any idea what kind? I know we try to play this game every week, and you're about as good at it as I am, but do you have any idea what kind of dog Barry might be?
So he is more on the petite side. I would say he's probably like a 40 to 50 pound dog. Mm-hmm. So he has the coloring and like definitely the face shape of maybe a Mastiff mix, but he's definitely not that size.
Okay.
So probably your run-of-the-mill West Virginia brown dog for Barry.
Well, and he would make I would think, a great family pet. But as you said, just know going in that he's not so much on other animals, and that's okay. So just know that if you've got other animals right now, Barry may not be the dog for you. But if you are looking for a dog and you don't have any other animals, as you said, maybe other than a goldfish or something like that, Barry would be the ideal dog. 100%, as you said, Angie, based on his personality. That would make him a great family dog, I would think.
Oh, yeah, he is absolutely one of the best dogs I've come across at the shelter. And I'm telling you, if you ask any of our staff or volunteers, they're going to say Barry is one of their favorite shelter pets. He's just so great. What he doesn't have for, other dogs or other critters, he makes up for tenfold in loving people. So he is a very social and friendly dog.
And you said he walks great on a leash and he loves his toys.
He does indeed.
Talking to Angie Gillenwater from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley, offering custom-tailored trainings to supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu. Now, I had a text to the show about that, but that was going to be my next point anyway. On your social media yesterday, you took in nearly 30 yesterday alone. That's a lot. That's a lot of pets there, Angie.
Yesterday was a tough one to be at the shelter. Everyone was very on edge, if you will. But we're very glad to be able to help. We are just struggling for space because not only did we take in the 30 yesterday, but we have about close to 20 more coming today, and that desperately need to come in, that need our help now. So if you have been thinking about adopting or even taking a dog for a sleepover, let us know. We would be super happy to have you, and you would be helping us out a ton in our current situation.
Yeah, we had, and as I said, I was going to mention that anyway, and I appreciate the texters sending that in. They actually sent me a picture of your post that you did on the Facebook page where you had a mama dog that was brought in, and she arrived, I'm reading off your post right now, arrived just in the nick of time not to have her puppies in the cold, rainy weather. So far, she'd had 4, but is still in active labor. And as whoever does your social media said, the shelter is not a great place to raise babies. It's noisy. There could be sick animals there, so on and so forth. So beautiful picture, and I appreciate the texter for sending that in of that beautiful dog and her puppy. So again, it was a rough day, as you said, at the shelter yesterday, and you guys desperately need help.
That is true. Me and one other person share our social media responsibility, so thank you so much for complimenting that. If you are looking for a small dog, a big dog, a certain color, a certain temperament, we have them, and we would be 100% willing to match make if it means the dog is going to get out of there for a little bit. And
cats, too. Don't forget the cats.
Cats too. Cats, we have a little more wiggle room on space, but we 100%. Like I said before, I'm a cat lady. I will help matchmake you to your cat. We also need help with our cats.
All right. I saw on your social media, speaking of such, you folks took a trip down to Mercer County, a bit of a road trip. What was that all about?
So our friends at Mercer County have been in the same boat we have as far as being very full and needing some help from the public. The issue with Mercer County is they didn't have as many programs set up as KCHA does, like the fostering program, or even really just a great social media presence. Mm-hmm. So they had asked us if we could come help them and train them on a couple things that we do at KCHA, and that's exactly what we did. We went and helped them out. Yeah, to hopefully get more of their pets out of the shelter. All
right, good stuff that you're able to help out the other shelters in the area. Also, I do want to mention, and we will continue to mention as we get closer today, Tuxes and Tails. That's your big event. It's coming up.
Yeah, it's getting closer. It is creeping up on me very quickly.
And you got information available about that on your social media and also on your website as well. So let's try to get some dogs adopted. Again, you took in 29 yesterday, and I'm assuming this mama dog technically was, if that was, let's say, number 29, we had at least 4 more added to that when you count the puppies, right?
That is true, and she, like I said, she's still in active labor, so probably adding more and more to that number as well.
All right. Angie, we'll let you go and let you get back to it. I do appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You as well. Angie Gillenwater from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association. Text says, I wish all our local businesses would consider adopting company mascots. Dogs and cats. All business owners, please consider this. I will say this. When I worked at another radio station group here in the Kanawha Valley at one point. Now, this was not a station dog per se. It actually belonged to one of the workers there in the office, but she brought the dog into work every day. I don't know what I think we have a no animal policy in the building here because when we first started doing this segment, I can tell the story now. When we first started doing this Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week segment a few years ago on this show, one of the dogs took care of his or her business on the control room floor while we were on the air. So that pretty much did it for us having an animal in here. But again, it was nervous. We've had announcers that's probably done the same thing, so I'm just saying. So, good idea from the texter. Adopt. Get yourself a station or a business dog or cat. Barry is our pet of the week. Picture posted, Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and at DaveA70 on X. 6 years old. Came in as a stray from the Sissonville area. Already vaccinated, already fixed, ready to go home. Very social, very happy dog. Loves his toys. Walks great on a leash. Does, though, need to be the only pet in the house. Again, Angie said maybe goldfish would be okay, but not so much on other dogs and cats. But if you're looking for a perfect dog, he prefers humans over other pets. I'm the opposite. I prefer pets over humans, but that's just me. So go get Barry. And again, I've got his picture posted on my social media. So let's get Barry adopted. Would be a great, great pet for you and your family. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Poor indoor air quality can cause a variety of health issues of all types. Allergies, respiratory problems, and more. Pinnacle offers specialized indoor air quality services for residential, commercial, and industrial settings. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Don Miller coming up a little bit later on from Read Aloud, West Virginia. Also, in a matter of moments, we're going to talk to some folks about the upcoming pickleball event going on in Nitro. Let me get a quick text in. Text says, Dave, I know we always talk about donations to the shelter, but the Fix 'em Clinic off Hillcrest can use donations as well. Please consider them also. Hey, look, I have the folks from the shelter on here. I don't care what your favorite pet charity is. Fix 'em Clinic. We've had others on here. Help them out. Help them out, whomever they may be. It's coming up on 9:20. We'll take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just build us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Start your day informed with the early news on 580 WCHS. Local newscasts starting at 5 a.m. on weekdays, bringing you the latest updates on state, local, and national news. Stay ahead of the curve and be in the know with the early news on 580 WCHS.
The latest in news, talk, and sports on 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Visit jarrett-construction.com for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
9:21. Welcome back to the show. Ryan Nicholson, our producer today. Older adults should protect themselves against severe respiratory disease. Talk to your doctor about flu, COVID-19, and RSV vaccines. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Let's talk a little pickleball in Nitro. Johnny Rutherford is here along with Kyle Mullins. Good morning, fellas. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave.
Welcome to the new studios.
Yeah, it's great. This is wonderful.
What do you think?
First class.
Well,
Second class.
Well, no, it's first class. It'll even be better when we learn how to operate everything.
There you go.
We're still learning as we go. And Kyle, I think this is the first time you've been on the show. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Well, welcome aboard. Now, what do you do? Tell us about Kyle. We already know about this guy, but about Johnny. But let's talk about you.
So we have the Nitro Athletic Complex where we have these wonderful pickleball courts. And I'm kind of the guy that facilitates play there, which whether it's tournaments, leagues, give lessons, clinics. I'm also a certified instructor and things like that. But like I said, just facilitating play at Nitro and getting people to come there.
All right. And Johnny and I have been talking for the last couple of years about how big pickleball is, but you're on the ground there. I mean, you know how big pickleball is here in the Kanawha Valley.
Yeah, and it's just growing and growing. I think, I encourage everyone to come out and play. It doesn't matter athletic or not, age. Doesn't matter. I think everyone has a good time with it. So.
Now, Rutherford, aren't you? I thought you were stepping back. You can't stay away, can you, man?
I can't stay away. I love it.
Pulling that microphone a little closer to you.
I'm still involved with Metro. They've asked me to help them with their employee association fundraiser.
Metro 911.
Metro 911, and that's what it's about. The great thing about pickleball, just let me interject here for a second. Yeah. I'm retired now. Cal's in his early 30s. And the great thing about pickleball, it doesn't matter. We can play and be competitive against each other, just the nature of the game.
Well, I noticed when Kyle said doesn't matter your age, he looked at you. I'm just saying. Just saying. But now you're still, I give you credit, man, because you're still out there, being competitive. You're not that old, but you're out there being competitive and staying active and doing what you got to do to stay in shape, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's enjoyable. It keeps your cardio up, and your coordination, the way you play. It's really a great game to keep you in shape.
And this thing has become so big since the first time you were. How many years have you been doing
this? This is our third annual.
We'll say, because we've been talking pickleball for the last couple of years, I thought. But this event, it brings in the cream. I know we got the Masters going on right now. But this is, becoming in this part of the country like the Masters of pickleball, pretty much, right?
That's correct. Like last year, we had Susanna Barr, top APP pro. She came in. If you guys can remember, we call her the MJ of pickleball.
Yeah, she's the Michael Jordan of pickleball.
Yeah. So she came into town, and then there were a bunch of other up-and-coming players. We actually had two guys that were in our tournament last year that just signed PPA contracts, which is the highest level of pickleball. So they've progressed from success at Nitro last year all the way to the top.
They've gone to the NFL of pickleball, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. And
exactly.
This, and John and I have talked about this for the last couple of years. This thing this event has become so huge, but pickleball itself has become so. Most people 10 years ago never even heard of pickleball. Maybe 5 years ago never heard of pickleball, and it's the hottest thing. It's the hottest thing in America as far as sports go right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And talk about what goes on with this tournament. As far as all these people coming in, and what I like, Captain Capitalist here. What I like is when they come in, they're spending money and they're putting heads in beds, as Tim Brady over at the CVB would say, and they're eating at the restaurants and they're doing all the things like that.
Joe, what was amazing the second year especially is when we went to a little bit of the pros coming in. The city of Nitro restaurants actually ran out of food. They weren't prepared for the amount of people that would come into the city of Nitro. And that's not only from out of state. We have people coming from Idaho, Kentucky, North Carolina, and the restaurants actually ran out of food. But it's also people from Huntington, Kanawha. Yeah. One of the things I want to make sure I say is this, we're talking about the pros, but this tournament's for everybody.
Indeed.
This tournament goes even to the players that just started, that are 3-0s, which are the beginners, all the way to the 4.5, 5-0s. So it's for everybody. We invite everybody to come out. We keep the levels separate. So if you're a beginner, you're playing against beginners. If you're intermediate, you're playing against intermediate. So this tournament's for everybody.
And what are the dates again?
It starts May 30th, May 31st, and June 1st at Nitro.
And the reason we always have you on early is to so people can make plans for it. And there's people that come out just like any other event, just to watch.
Yeah, there's if you were to come to this tournament, you'll see people all along the courts watching the play. And not only watching, like we were talking about, just the pros, but watching the amateurs, watching your friends, things like that. And it's competitive on every court.
It's quite the social event.
Well, that's big. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Snap Fitness, offering a wide array of professional wellness services, including customized personal training, licensed recovery experts, and a staff of dietitians. 5 great locations: Hurricane, Charleston, Barbersville, Winfield, and Milton. Visit snapfitness.com for details. Talk about Metro 911's involvement in this, John.
Well, Metro 911, of course, that's where I got involved, being the retired now, but the executive director of Metro 911. We have great employees that every day answer over 1,500 calls, 500,000 calls a year, everything from cardiac arrest to delivering babies. And the proceeds, the profit from this fundraiser, basically for them, goes to reward them when they do a good job. Sometimes they do CPR and they'll save a life. And what we do with that, we use a gift card to a $25 gift card to buy them lunch for doing a great job and saving somebody's life or delivering a baby.
And so, again, this is a big event as far as tourism for the area goes, but there's something in it for 911 that you're trying to reward, and somebody that's done that your whole life, I mean, you're trying to reward these employees for going above and beyond.
Yes, sir.
What for people that may have gone to this in the past, you talked about the Michael Jordan of pickleball coming back. Talk about some of the other maybe things that are new this year. Are you trying anything new this year?
So actually the big new thing is with the complex. In the past, we've just had 9 courts, and 7 there on the side. But now we have a brand new covering over top of the courts, which will allow us to play 24/7 all year long. The big problem here in Charleston is in the winter, it's kind of hard to find play, which this facility will now allow us to do things like that. But this year we have we have a little bit more money on the line, trying to incentivize more people to come, as well as this year we're, instead of giving amateurs medals for winning, they'll get a brand new backpack that says like 911 Metro gold medalists and things like that.
Yeah, and they can take that to their whatever their pickleball court is, whether it's that one or another one, and go in and it's got of intimidation. You know, you see this right here, champion.
You know, Dave, one thing that's great about our community, our pickleball community, is it's supported by the cities. Almost every city in the valley has put new pickleball courts in, and so we thank the mayors for that. We especially thank Mayor Casebolt. He has really invested. We have some of the best courts in our area statewide, in the local states, in the valley, everywhere. We just have great courts in Nitro.
And people come in just to say that they've played on those courts in Nitro. That's how good they are.
Yes.
I mean, because maybe in their respective communities, they don't have what Nitro has.
That's true. They're excellent courts.
Yeah. So again, for people that are coming out just to watch, talk about the hours, talk about the seating, talk about all the stuff that goes along with that.
So like we said, it'll be May 30th, May 31st, and June 1st. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday will be singles. It will be singles for everyone, whether you're amateur, pro. Saturday will be gender doubles, which is men's and women's doubles. Sunday will be mixed. I would encourage to come. You can obviously stand along the sides, bring a chair, something like that. We should have bleachers on the side that you'll be able to see and watch. We'll also have food trucks and things like that for the visitors to come and enjoy as well. So, and
we'll have Metro 911 employees giving out free water, taking care of the people. We take good care of the spectators.
What about lessons or people that want to pick up the game?
Yeah, great question. So Susanna Barr that came in last year, first I want to say that she was not only top level pickleball knowledge and things like that, but she was one of the most kind and genuine people.
We had her on the show last year, didn't we, John? I think she called into the show last year.
Yes.
Yeah, she was wonderful, and we're excited to have her back. But she is offering lessons for different levels of play, whether you're a beginner, whether you're an advanced player, on Thursday. So Thursday, May 29th. So we'll have that going on as well.
I mean, how many people in whatever their sport is, whether it's, as I mentioned, the Masters because it's going on right now, I mean, how many people can say that they got a lesson, you know, from Michael Jordan? You know, you're getting BP from Aaron Judge or something like that. I mean, how many people can say you're actually having the best person to tell you what you're doing wrong or what you need to do to be better?
Yeah, exactly. And I would encourage everyone around to take advantage of this opportunity that we have, and you'll learn from one of the best.
All right. And where is information available about this if people want to learn more?
Well, go to the best place to go is the Charleston Pickleball Club Facebook page. That's the best place to go. It's also the Metro 911 Facebook page, but basically the Charleston Pickleball Club Facebook.
All right. And for people, maybe Johnny, that are listening to us today that, you know, and you and I have been talking about this for 3 years now, but for people that maybe don't understand what we talk about when we say pickleball, give us a little primer again on what pickleball is. Explain the game.
So pickleball is it's a combination of tennis, ping pong, and badminton. It's played on a smaller court, tons of action, fast-paced play. And like John said, you'll get great cardio in it. Hearts racing nonstop, and you're going to have a great time. It's very social. You're face-to-face with people. Like, I don't come from a tennis background, but when you're playing tennis, you're stretched all the way across the court. Pickleball, you're right up front. You're right there beside each other, having a good time. So, yeah, I would encourage everyone to come join us.
All right, so dates, times, again, and we'll probably have you on as we get a little bit closer to talk about logistics, because it takes a lot. Johnny, and you've been involved in this since day one. It takes a lot to pull this off, and so we'll have you on again to talk about the logistics. But again, give us the dates, the times, so on and so forth.
Thursday, May 29th is when we have the clinics with Susanna Barr, and the tournament will start on Friday, May 30th, which will be singles. May 31st, which is a Saturday, will be gender doubles. And June 1st, which is a Sunday, will be mixed doubles.
All right, and I've got the information posted on my social media on Dave Allen Radio. John sent me the flyer, and I posted it on there this morning. Guys, I appreciate you being here. And, John, try to retire. I mean, you know.
Hey, Dave, I'm enjoying life. Pickleball is a big part of my life because it does keep you young, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm enjoying life. Thank you.
All right. Guys, we'll have you back on as we get a little bit closer. Thanks a lot. It is 27 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Bigley, Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. John Miller from Read Aloud, West Virginia, coming up next. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Poca Valley Bank has a new name. We are now simply Poca Valley, and here is why we're changing. Our place in the community goes beyond banking. While we still provide the finest in banking services, we also bring excellence in wealth management and financial planning, accounting, and bookkeeping services. Whether you're planning for the future or managing today, we offer the expertise you need. With 8 convenient locations, we're here to help you thrive. Discover the difference at Poca Valley. Relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-556-8866. 800-556-8866. Again, that's 800-556-8866.
Join the 9th annual Race Into Racism on April 26th at 9 a.m. Sponsored by TC Energy, Toyota, and Huntington National Bank. YWCA Charleston invites you to join the pre-race to end racism events. The YWCA Charleston is proud to announce the dedication of its newly named Catherine Kitty Dooley Center for Community Enrichment, honoring Dooley's lifelong commitment to justice, equity, and community service. A special dedication ceremony will be held on April 17th at noon at 412 Elizabeth Street, Charleston. Sign up today at ywcacharleston.org/race.
$24 minutes away from 10. Bigley, Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Meeks Rentals and Leasing, offering stress-free property management for both renters and property owners. Visit meeksrentals.com. Don Miller from Read Aloud, West Virginia is here. Good morning, Don. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Welcome to our our humble abode.
Beautiful new studio.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, isn't it?
It is.
We're pretty happy with it.
You're going places.
Yeah, we just don't know exactly where, but we're well on our way. We had you on not long ago to talk about your Rita-palooza event, and so before we get to why you're here today, tell me how the event went.
The event was great. Thank you. Thanks to you and everybody who supported it. We sold plenty of tickets. We had a nice vibe.
It was at the University of Charleston.
It was in the Irma Bird Gallery, that beautiful room. We had a local musician named Jordan Dyer who played. He even stayed longer and played longer than he had promised to, which gave it such a wonderful, just relaxed atmosphere. People who care about literacy and who read to kids and who help us with our book distributions. They came, sponsors came. We had some new people come. And we haven't finished all of the details yet, but I imagine we're going to pass $30,000 in what we made to support the cause.
And it's great to have you here this week, and we didn't really plan it this week because this is National Library Week.
Hurrah.
I had my good buddy Megan Tarbett from the Putnam County Library on earlier this week, and on the statewide show, Amanda and I had the director out of Marion County on the show. So
Excellent.
We like to talk about literacy and whatnot.
They are both friends of Read Aloud, West Virginia.
Yes, I'm sure they are. No doubt about that. And speaking of this, you folks are getting some national recognition, I understand.
How about that?
Talk about it.
We were so fortunate. One of our volunteers in Berkeley County last year, I think, communicated with reporter Jackie Valley at the Christian Science Monitor because she had written a story about literacy and education, and he just, as a reader, emailed her and shared some details. And she was intrigued then. And she said, I wish I'd known about this. And a year later, she got in touch and she was interested. And her idea was she wanted to write about the role that the community has in literacy. What, outside of school, what do families and the communities contribute to literacy? And she discovered Read Aloud West Virginia was a great example, an illustration to talk about that.
At any time, Dawn, as you well know, anytime we can get positive coverage on dang near anything that's going on in West Virginia, it's good. But particularly when it comes to things like literacy and education and things of that nature.
Correct. I know every West Virginian, when you see West Virginia pop up on the news or something, you sort of hold your breath until you see how it's going to go.
Here we go. Here we go. That's what you. But again, anything that we can do positive to put, because we are. And I've talked about this over the years in radio, Don. We are really, really bad about believing the negative stereotypes about ourselves.
That's right.
We can't expect others, and I don't want to play amateur psychologist here, but we can't expect others to view us differently when we don't view ourselves any differently. Right. And when we have these positive things, like you said, a national respected publication that caught on to something that was going on in West Virginia as it relates to literacy, education, whatever, they grab a hold of this, right. and it tells the masses that, hey, West Virginia's actually got some good stuff going on.
We do some good things. So along those lines, Dave, we have to pay attention to when things are bad or when something's wrong because you can't fix it otherwise.
Right.
But it is very easy to not recognize when you are improving and when you're making progress. And one of the things that was in that story, if anybody wants to look it up, the NAEP scores came out a month or two or so ago. And what they showed broadly across the country is that reading scores had not moved very much in most places. And West Virginia was one of the places where the reading scores held steady. They didn't drop like they did in some places, but they didn't increase over the previous year. A lot of people nationally held that up as, oh, no, nothing's working. This is bad news. I do not subscribe to that interpretation. Because I see what's going on day to day. I see some improvements. I think we talked about this last time about how schools across the country, including West Virginia, are improving how they're teaching reading. They are getting back to some things that were known years ago about teaching kids to sound out words. They know a lot more now than even they did then. And so I believe that seeing a year where things are held steady is actually could be a step to improvement.
I mean, there is something to be said for, as you said, holding steady and not going backwards.
Right.
And what I think it's interesting, because I'm the old guy that complains about everything on this show. At my age, I'm already that guy. I get tagged with that all the time. The guy.
Get off my lawn.
Exactly. But we are learning, though, that in some ways, that the old ways weren't so bad after all.
That's right. We even say that. I mean, I'm all for learning new things and trying new things and innovation.
Yeah.
But one of the things we say around Read Aloud, because sometimes funders only want to fund what is new and innovative.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, well, what about what's old and works?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there is something to teaching kids how to read in a way that has been shown for more than a century to work.
Talking to Don Miller from Read Aloud, West Virginia, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. 1 week and a day away from the Go-Mart Home Run Derby over to Ballpark Saturday, April 19th. Details available on their social media and at dirtybirdsbaseball.com. We'll have Jill from the Dirty Birds on the show next week to talk about that. All right, so this is the time of year, most schools, I would think, in the area have already had their spring break. If not, they're going to have it soon. I think most already have. And I remember, in school around this time when the weather starts, and trust me, at some point it is going to warm up and stay warm for a while. You start thinking about spring and you start thinking about summer and things of that nature and getting the heck out of the school. But talk about some of the things that your group does during those perhaps summer months, the months off, so to speak.
Exactly. Yes. So one of the things we do is help students and schools prepare themselves for summer so that they're set up for students to continue to build their reading skills. And the biggest way we do that is distribute books that excite kids that they will be tempted by and want to spend time with during their summer break. Fun books, things they're genuinely interested in. And the reason is when children read for fun on their own time, they can't help but practice the lessons in school. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Some people think that summer learning loss is a foregone conclusion. I used to think that. But the more I learn and the more I work on this, the more I realize I believe that is a false assumption. We do have a big problem with summer learning loss. But when children read for fun, I don't know about you, I used to like to read Nancy Drew in third grade. Mm-hmm. That's not fantastic literature, but
it's something.
But it's something, and and it leads you to the next thing,
right,
so you get to really fantastic literature, and it has its own charm. But when kids do that, when they spend time with books that they enjoy, they actually maintain their reading skill over summer, and some of them actually increase. So if they're being taught properly during the school year and then they read for pleasure during the summer, mm-hmm. they can actually gain reading proficiency over the summer. And at the very least, they maintain it. And that is when you start to see reading scores go up year after year after year, when that's happening, when you're not constantly trying to make up for this summer slide, as some researchers call it.
The thing about when you talk about kids reading for fun is, most kids probably, though, Dawn, are not going to pick that up on their own. So somebody's going to have to explain to them it can be fun. Give it a try. You talked about Nancy Drew. I mean, when I was a kid, I was an avid reader. My stuff was sports books. Mm-hmm. That was my thing. Still is, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love to read about sports. It's something. So I think it's incumbent, though, upon parents, guardians, teachers and I know in West Virginia schools that I think they most try to do a really good job of teaching. Okay, don't think about reading as something that is an assignment. I have to read 3 chapters tonight. Now, sometimes in life you have to you got to study the manual or whatever. You have to do that. But but the parents, grandparents, teachers also have to go in and say, hey, you can read for fun. Mm-hmm. If you if you're somebody that is interested in cars, here's some books about cars, that you'll want to read how to rebuild that engine, or you'll want to read about science, or read about sports or entertainment or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You are so on it, Dave. You have nailed it exactly. We distribute a lot of sports books, and we distribute a lot of books about cars. It might surprise you that children ask us for books about cooking. Kids want cookbooks.
Cooking's huge.
Cooking is huge.
And the kids cooking thing, not That's cooking right. kids, by the way. That's a thing, because, all these shows that are on the web and on TV about, mm-hmm. these kids baking things. Yeah, it's a big thing.
And you think about that, when that thing you have learned in school and that book has relevance to you in something you want to do in your own life, that is the best reinforcement that you can get. So I want to tell you about something that's called social contagion. Social contagion is a real thing. We tend to do what the people around us are doing. If it becomes part of the local culture to not clean out the coffee cup in the office, then everybody leaves their dirty dishes.
It's as if you've been in our building.
I've been in the workplace for a long time. If people around you read books or magazines or sports features or the sports page, then you are more likely to pick those things up. So we tell parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles who sometimes think, I know this as an adult around some kids, you sometimes think you have no influence at all. Everything else gets the kids' attention and has an influence on them. But actually, the loving adults around them have more influence than it sometimes feels like. Yeah. And so if the adults around them bring books into the environment, sports magazines, cookbooks, car books, anything that interests your family, and you spend time with it, you can start just by looking at the pictures and browsing. Mm-hmm. But if you make 15 or 20 minutes a day to read together, read aloud to kids, or if you don't really enjoy that, you find somebody in the family who does. At first, it might feel strange if you haven't been doing it for a while, but eventually, not very long, you'll hit something that everybody enjoys, and you won't want to stop after 10 minutes, or you won't want to stop after 15 minutes, or you'll look forward to it the next day. And those little habits really add up over time.
You're doing great work there, Don, you and the organization Read Aloud West Virginia. Where can people learn more about you, read about you and the organization?
Thank you. We are at readaloudwv.org. You can find us on Facebook. We've got chapters around the state, so you connect with us. All of our phone numbers and emails are on all that stuff. So you can find us online and get in touch. We'd love to have more people helping out.
All right, Don, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Congratulations on the great work that you're doing. I'm glad that Readapalooza over at University of Charleston turned out really nice, and also glad that you got that national recognition, that people are seeing good things going on in West Virginia. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
All right. It's Don Miller from Read Aloud West Virginia, 12 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Hudson's Pizza. Get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a large tossed salad, $21.99. Eat in, pick up, or get delivery by going to hudsonspizza.com. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Adventure is boundless. Adventure is a journey that never ceases. When you hit the open road or the open water, time stops and adventure begins. From anchors away to kickstands up, a continuous tradition of adventure is the spirit that drives Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports. Featuring Godfrey pontoons, so you can make way for the party or peace on your endless adventure. Discover more at TrojanLanding.com or visit Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports in Charleston today.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-419-2387. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387.
The latest in news, talk, and sports when 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Call 304-344-9140 for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Stay ahead of the market with Ed Stike from Stike Wealth Investment. Tune into the morning news on 580 WCHS for a daily market report. Get expert insights, trends, and analysis to make informed financial decisions. Start your day financially empowered with 580 WCHS.
It is 9 minutes away from 10 on this Friday edition of the show. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly. Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy, West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, RSV, and more. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond West Virginia. Great resource. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, into the podcast menu. Start your journey towards better health today. Text says graphic novels are a great hook for hesitant readers. Hey, look, if they're interested in it, I'd say go for it. Coming up on Monday's show, we're going to talk about small business in and around Charleston. City Councilman Emmett Pepper and Small Business Liaison Audrey Kahn will join us on the show. Plus, you may remember the story of the young man they called Mad Dog Maddox, young fellow who tragically passed away. His family started a foundation. We're going to talk to them about that. Plus, your calls and texts coming up on Monday's show. Now, today on Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and myself welcome in folks to talk about the rash of school, and now we add at least college takeovers in the state of West Virginia. Rob Cunningham, the Director of Homeland Security here in West Virginia, is on the show. We're keeping a close eye on the legislature with TJ and Brad. Tomorrow, the spring game for Marshall. The voice of the Thundering Herd, Steve Cotton, will join us. We'll study about the water crisis in Weirton for what may have been, as far as I know, and I've been trying to do some research on this, and I'll have more as we come up. This is going to be in the 2 o'clock hour on the show today. Maybe the first time that at least I'm aware of, and Chris Lawrence wrote a story about it. Charges have been filed for something that happened during a high school basketball game. Now, this didn't involve fans. This involved a player on the court for a flagrant foul, and now the police and the court system have gotten involved. Speedy Bevins and Fred Persinger will stop by to weigh in on that. Plus, it's Friday, which means we do the lunch spot thing. You, the listeners, call or text us. Tell us where we need to eat, what you're eating, all things food. And at 2:30, Open Line, West Virginia, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and me coming up noon till 3 today. Quick follow-up from yesterday's show about the price of parking in the town center going up. Text says it may be $5, but that's more than double what people are paying now, and it wasn't publicized. I parked there, says a texter, on Tuesday for a conference. Of course, as always, they fumbled things up and screwed up our prepaid parking. I pulled a Karen, says the texter, and they let me through when they realized there were 80 more people coming just like me. I'm probably one of the few faithful shoppers left, and I'm not going to the mall as much now. Honestly, parking should be free to encourage more people to shop, but no one really cares about what's happening to the mall. So that's kind of where that is. Yeah, I mean, this thing was really suddenly, I'll say this, the Charleston Town Center has gotten more play, and more mentions in the eyes of the public in probably the last 2 or 3 days than it has in the last 2 or 3 years. Possibly.
Here's one for you.
Okay.
That's
TJ Meadows, by the way.
Good morning. Thank you. I was going to park on the Embassy Suite side, the one that's controlled by them for the state tournament, because it was just more convenient for me. I just pulled on through. That was $15.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's their parking lot. They can charge what they want,
That's what I'm saying, yeah. But, I mean, it's the same garage. It's still connected, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's and I explained it. I talked to city officials yesterday, and I know Chris did a story on it, and it's very complicated but one thing about it is this is not on the city of Charleston, because people want to blame the city of Charleston for everything. This is not. No, it's well beyond that. Let me break it down for you a little bit later, okay? Because I got all my notes from yesterday. You asked me too quick here. Let me quickly try to.
Well, if you don't want to pay it, don't park there.
Well, and there's plenty of other parking spots around. Let me see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the show.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. Okay, Cura is completely out of it. An entity created by the old bondholders bought the garages at auction, so they own and operate the 2 garages connected to the mall. The owner of the Marriott owns the garage beside that hotel. And Chris actually did an interview, and it aired this morning on the morning news with the people that are currently in charge of it. On an unrelated note, why are so many people upset about a new hotel being built in downtown Charleston? The plans were released a couple days ago, and what should have been, TJ, a positive story becomes negative, with everyone commenting on their favorite social media about how Charleston doesn't need another hotel, and there's nothing going on in Charleston. Tell me you don't know anything about your community without telling me you don't know anything going on in your community.
I mean, it's private capital, right? The city's not building the hotel.
Right, but my point is it becomes this thing is, well, why does Charleston need another? I'll tell you why, because they're sold out. That's why, because you don't know, people don't look beyond their front yard and realize that they may not be interested in the stuff that's going on. I know the people that own and operate the hotel off the Taze Valley exit there, the Sleep Inn, completely sold out. Completely sold out almost every weekend. And that's because people can't get closer to Charleston. Now, granted, there are great things. I'm president of Putnam County Tourism, so I can say that. Mm-hmm. There are great things going on in Putnam County as well. That hotel this past weekend was completely sold out, mainly because of some things going on there, but also things going on at Shawnee. We had the home show going on, all these other things. So just miss me, to quote my favorite person, one of my favorite people, Pastor Marlon Collins, miss me with all this. There's nothing going on in Charleston, and that we don't need another hotel. We absolutely need another hotel, 2 or 3 hotels.
My view on it's even simpler than that. I don't know the hotel business, but guys that are investing in hotels, those are not cheap to build.
Yeah.
They typically do their due diligence, and if they want to put private capital at risk and bring something into this, what do you want? You want it to be a blank space? You want it to be empty? Why is it bad?
Well, the people are saying we don't need another. Yes,
well, it's not their decision.
And I agree with you. You and I are pretty much lined up politically 99% of the time.
Yeah, we are.
Chamber of Commerce and Country Club Republicans were called. Not welcome in the party, by the way, by most Republicans.
Who said I wanted to go?
Well, I'm not a Republican anymore. So, but that's what the whole thing about people saying we don't need another. Hell yes, we need 2 or 3 more hotels in Charleston and the surrounding areas. But anyway, what's on the big show today, sir?
So coming up at 10:06, we're going to break down reaction to Laura Wakeham Chapman. She's a senator from Ohio County. She had some strong words. Of course, she tried to revive the vaccine exemption bill, ended up pulling it yesterday. Remarks by members late last night, Dave, and she's had some very, tough words for people, different industries, different folks on why that fell apart. We will play those and react. Coming up at 10:30, Chris Steyerwalt stops by. Hoppy's in the house at 11:06. Brad may or may not join us, depending on whether or not he's held hostage in one of the houses of the legislature this morning as they're both gavelled in. And then, of course, everyone's favorite, 11:30, Steam release. I think it's going to be big.
You think so?
This week. There's something in the last week of the legislature. We've been a little more opinionated this week than we otherwise are.
Well, what happens is when it gets to a certain level, and you know this, at this time, people start looking around and saying, what have we done? Mm-hmm. And the public as well as elected officials. And I told somebody the other day, I said, it's kind of hard at this time. Now, you guys are at the Capitol, so you got them walking by, but on shows like this and the shows similar to this there in Morgantown and Beckley and other places, we have a hard time getting the elected officials on the air at this time because they're busy.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with that. But starting next, I promise you, over the weekend, my phone is going to start ringing off the hook with these
stories to tell,
wanting to say, here's what I did, and here's why I didn't get something done. That's what's going to happen.
It's everybody's fault but mine, Dave. I was trying to do my part, but this guy and this gal.
Those fill-in name here, the leadership or the party or whatever.
I predict we'll get a steam today about you and I saying that Charleston is over-hoteled.
All right.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on. I'll argue it with anybody, and I got statistical stuff that'll back it up.
He got numbers.
I got numbers, man. Coming up on Monday's show, again, we're going to talk about the Maddox Foundation, also small business, semi-related, in Charleston with City Councilman Emmett Pepper and others on the show. Coming up, Metro News Midday, 13 News, and tonight, live anchor Amanda Barron and I, noon to 3 on this and many other Metro News stations. Ryan Nicholson, thank you so much. I will see you later today. If not, I'll see you Monday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.